Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, hi, my name is Ntwaniengomane. If you're a returning subscriber, welcome back and welcome to this video. On today's video, I really want to talk about finances, and this is the first video, I don't want to say ever, but it's the first in a very long time that I've talked about money. And I have said in a previous video, I think 2 weeks ago, that I really want to start talking more about finances on this channel, because a huge part of our career is about money. That's the reason why we work, that's the reason why we have a career, and that is the primary reward for our working, right? That's why we go to work. So today I want to talk about money, and I want to talk about how we can cultivate healthy money habits. The stuff I'm going to talk about in this video is nothing you have not heard before. It's stuff you definitely have heard, but I want to share with you guys my stories on these 4 points. I keep looking here because I have my notes right here. Without any further ado, let's get on to today's video. So the first thing that I did for myself, and this was back in 2019 when I started working, was educating myself on healthy financial habits. And that meant reading books, it meant listening to podcasts, it meant researching some stuff that I didn't understand. Remember in 2019 when I started work around, I think Jan, Feb, I had friends who had started working a few years before me, and I'd ask them, like, guys, what are you investing in? Where do you put your money? What are you gonna do about retirement and all of those things? And people were just like, dude, like, we just started working, like, why are you thinking about retirement? But in my head, I knew that my employer at the time, because I was on a contract basis, was not contributing toward my retirement. And I knew from the learnings that I had done with the books and the podcast that I needed to have a plan. So how did I sort of learn these things and upskill myself in the space of personal finance? Is I read the book Rich Dad Poor Dad. I'm pretty sure a lot of us have heard about it before. I read that book in 2019, and then I read How to Make Your First Million, which I actually have a copy with me here because I literally took it with me from South Africa. I read this book in 2019, and guys, I cannot tell you how much it has changed my life. It basically gives you step-by-step guidance on how you can make your first million, and I think I've shared this on this channel as well. So other than this, I also listened to the Honest Money podcast. I think it's hosted by Warren Ingram. I really love that podcast. He takes questions, he delves into like the nitty-gritties of personal finance and how to handle your money and all of that. So in 2019 was a very big learning year for me in terms of finances. I think I was also intentional about it. I actually enjoyed listening to how I can make more money and how I can save more money and how I can invest my money. So that was the first thing, that I educated myself on healthy financial habits. The second thing was, after learning all of that knowledge and concepts and all of that, I started paying myself first. And I know you guys have heard about this before. It's not a new concept to pay yourself first, but what that exactly means is that when you get your money in the bank, right, the first person that you need to pay is you. Before you pay your rent, before you pay your other bills, your subscriptions, your Netflix, your everything, pay you first. And what that looks like could be in the form of a savings account, it could be in the form of an investment account, but anything that is to benefit you, that is what you should start with. So I then I opened a unit trust account, I think at the time. And I said, this is how I'm gonna pay myself first. And when I started, guys, it was very random. I just decided I'm gonna put in like 500 Rand. I think that was the minimum to open the unit trust at the time. And I put in that 500 Rand every month throughout 2019. I don't know how much it is now. I haven't even checked recently, because in my mind, it was not money that I was gonna need. It was just money that I was paying myself first. So basically, of all the work that I would do in a month, I would pay myself 500 Rand. But that's how I started. And obviously it increases as time goes on. So learn the concept of paying yourself first, because already when you pay rent, when you pay your Wi-Fi and everything, you are paying the person who owns the property, right? You are paying the person who provides your internet. You are paying the fuel for your car. You are paying, you take your salary to pay other people, but why are you not paying you for all the work that you've done throughout the month first? The next step was to stay out of debt. And I think I credit this for me to privilege. I want to acknowledge that I was privileged during my articles years, that I had a car that I didn't have to pay for. So I didn't have to get into debt to buy a car. Obviously at that point I couldn't afford a house even if I wanted to, so I obviously did not buy an apartment. I did not buy a house. I did not have any debt, and maybe these two debts that I'm talking about, the car and the house, are not something that is maybe applicable to you because of affordability. But also think about clothing stores, also think about credit cards, which I'm pretty sure you do qualify for. So I didn't have any of those things. I didn't have clothing accounts. I didn't have credit cards. I did have a cell phone contract that I took out in my articles years for my brother, which I eventually paid off after 2 years. And after that, I swore to never buy any digital product on credit ever again, because it was the most excruciating 2 years of my life. I was not paying a lot, but the fact that I had to pay it and the phone is already a year old, it just didn't make sense to me. So definitely stay out of debt. That is my, if you can help it. If you need a car, 100% please go buy a car. Not a lot of us can afford to buy a car cash, so a debt for that and a debt for an apartment or a house or a home, 100%. I also probably will definitely do that at some point in future, but I'm just trying to educate around the concept of debt, that I did not get into any kind of debt during my articles, and I still don't have any kind of debt until today. But if you're somebody who needs a car for work and you need a place to stay, 100% I support that. I'm just saying that be wary of debt, because obviously we know the repo rate increased, I think yesterday already, so your debt is going to be more expensive, and you need to be cognizant of the fact that it will be more expensive and you'll need more money to pay it, ultimately affecting your affordability on other things. So think about that. The next and final point is about budgeting. And budgeting is a bit of a weird one for me, because I didn't always have a budget, but I always knew what percentage of my money goes where. So I keep an Excel spreadsheet. Yes, the accountant in me keeps an Excel spreadsheet of all my fixed expenses, of all my variable expenses, of all my savings, my investments, and how much all of that cost. So in that spreadsheet, it's formula driven. I just plug in my income and then allocate everything, and then I know how much money I have left at the end of the month, right? Or after paying all of these things. So then I had never done the whole allocation between this is for food, this is for transport, this is for going out, this is for clothes and whatever. I just find that to be too restricting. Like, what if in that month I want to buy more clothes than I want to eat out? What if I want to eat out more than I buy more clothes, you know? So I just never do the nitty-gritties of the budget. I just have my income, investments, fixed expenses, variable, and whatever else is left is what I will buy groceries, go out, buy a coat or two, clothes, whatever. And so I didn't restrict myself with what I am spending my money on. And I feel like that helped me to have a better relationship with money, because when you're restricting yourself, sometimes you get to a point where you're like, but why am I working? Like, why am I suffering? Even though I wake up every morning and go to work, it doesn't make sense, right? So I didn't have a restrictive budget. I just had a budget that made sense to me. and that told me the important things that I needed to track, like my fixed expenses and my savings and investments. So yeah, that's about it with the 4 points on money and how you can make your money better. I hope you found this video helpful. I really hope we can have more money conversations. So drop me down a comment below if there's any topic about finances that you'd want me to discuss on this channel, and we can look at discussing it in future videos. Otherwise, I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.